Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Am I the Asshole? If you're a fan of Reddit stories, we'd really appreciate it if you could like or subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's dive into our first story. Am I the asshole for embarrassing my parents in public over an allergy? I, 19 female, have been allergic to dairy since I was a baby. My doctor and parents had a whole schedule for the first half of my life to get me acclimated to dairy. It went from me throwing up every night as a baby to the point where I could eat a pretty unrestricted diet and have no real symptoms other than stomach pain when I was in middle school. This sounds kind of stupid, lol, but it took me until a couple of months ago to realize that the stomach pain is actually a symptom and not a thing I just need to deal with. I was on a school trip and asked if I could have the dairy-free meals, because I knew my stomach would feel icky from motion sickness and traveling, and I actually ended up feeling great. So ever since coming back to university, I've basically gone dairy-free, and my digestion has been great. However, because I now have lost all my tolerance for dairy, even very little makes me nearly as sick as when I was a really young child. I've told my parents this, and they basically said, "Do whatever you want at school." But we didn't spend nearly 2 decades getting you used to dairy just to cut it out now. That's a lot of time wasted. I had to go home recently for a family event that my parents hosted, and we had a big family meal with a lot of extended relatives, where nearly everything had dairy. I tried scraping sauce and cheese off of stuff, but I ingested some anyway, clearly because I felt gross and spent a lot of time in the bathroom. At one point, my mother got annoyed at me for leaving the table so much. I was leaving a lot, and said kind of angrily, "Why are you being so rude at this event?" This annoyed me because I didn't feel I was being rude. I was sick, so I said to her, "Why don't you take my allergy seriously? You're the reason I've been eating stuff that makes me sick for all my life." The issue is that I think that was kind of harsh of me. My parents do believe I have an allergy. They just also believe they cured it with the diet plan my doctor had me on. And they've told me that they only pursued it because my doctor said it could increase my quality of life to not have an allergy. Which, to be fair, when I was on this plan, I was able to digest more without getting sick. My stomach just hurt a lot. I feel like I may have been unnecessarily rude in how I reacted to my mother. And I'm also worried I drew attention to myself that wasn't needed. A lot of my relatives were asking if I was okay after dinner, which was kind of them, but really not the focus of the event. Edit: I appreciate everybody telling me I'm lactose intolerant. I am not. I have been to several doctors throughout my life and gotten actual allergy tests. I am allergic to the dairy protein. If the symptoms I've shared sound like lactose intolerance, that's very interesting and good to know. But the one thing I am certain about is the diagnoses I have received, not the asshole. My sister wasn't diagnosed with a dairy allergy, protein not lactose, until she was in college. Growing up, she got stomach aches from eating ice cream. In college, she ended up in the hospital, where she found out that she is allergic to dairy and gluten. Since cutting them out of her diet, she's felt better. The gluten allergy isn't severe, but too much, or several days of exposure, and it affects her gut. I have the same thing as her, in that it's the dairy protein, but not lactose. Luckily, gluten hasn't bothered me yet. It is funny because I have a lot of lactose intolerant friends, and they keep offering me their Lactaid chocolates and pills, but those don't do a thing for me. Not the asshole. They tried to cure your allergy, but it didn't really work. You were still in a lot of physical distress. Maybe their efforts improved your quality of life compared to what it would have been had you followed a normal diet. But your quality of life has been most improved by eliminating dairy from your diet altogether. Besides, if it only took 3 months to eliminate all their efforts, you weren't cured. You were barely managing the condition. They don't seem to get that. I was surprised by how quickly I lost all progress. Like 10 years to handle a normal slice of pizza versus 3-ish months to go right back to not. But you were in pain. They want you to be in GI distress so that they aren't inconvenienced. Just because you weren't throwing up as a kid doesn't mean it was good for you. Now that you're an adult, They have to listen when you advocate for yourself. Your quality of life is significantly better when you are dairy-free. Have you told them that in so many words? They seem to have convinced themselves of medical ideas that are convenient to them, rather than ones that are true. Not the asshole. You're not supposed to be in pain every time you eat. That sounds like torture, and they should have stopped the diet a long time ago. Maybe consult a decent doctor. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.